Alright, hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Licensed Performance Shop, Lone Star Mopars.com. Saturday afternoon, evening, 6:45 p.m. And it's Father's Day weekend. What that means for pretty much anyone watching this video, tool sales. And ironically, the video that I released this morning was Koken Tool Haul number 3. That stuff goes back to Christmas. Case in point, I still got the candy canes here. And ironically, as fate would have it, last night, Friday night, took some headers up to be TIG welded, got some gas at Sunoco, picked up some stuff at Harbor Freight on sale, got home, and I had a Koken delivery from Memorial Day. And that's what we're going to go ahead and jump on here, because it's kind of the perfect segue. In that video, I told you, I said, man, I've waited so long to open this, going from like Black Friday, Christmas era to April, something when we finally shot the video. I said, man, now that I've bought these Wobble Fixes, it's kind of sad, this being one of their Wobble Fixes, because they're going to release foamed sets. Well, as promised, I like these well enough and thought enough of the foam set to go ahead and bring one in. Now, this was not a huge haul, but I think I'm going to split it into 2 parts. I just think it's going to flow better that way for everybody. But I can tell you, in the meantime, I have used the snot out of the Wobble Fix. I love the Wobble Fix. The Wobble Fix, if you're unaware of what it does, I'll just come in right here. The 1/2 inch is at the truck somewhere. But we'll just step down here to the 7/16. This is the quarter drive. They've also since finally released the 3/8 version, which is a way more comprehensive size range and may or may not be coming from my purchase last night. But basically, you've got a wobble extension, right? Let me kind of zoom in for you and focus. So it's a wobble, and you think, cool, is this, you get like a better angle? What are the Japanese doing that, other companies aren't? Well, you do get a pretty solid angle. It's advertised, I believe it's 15, but I think it articulates a little better than the other wobble extensions I've got. The reason it's called a Wobble Fix is because of that. If you seat it once more, it's a solid extension, just like a cheap plain Jane extension you're accustomed to. So you kind of have a 2-in-1. Some people actually don't like this. I love it, especially like if you're on a budget. If you don't want to spend $100 for a standard extension set and then spend $100 for a wobble extension set, this is sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I've got a lot of seat time with them. The reason that I brought this in is specifically to use with the nut grip drivers. And you're going to see some other things that I have in mind here coming up shortly. But yeah, this is the one that I bought. Now, 3/8, that's sort of where we did like a 75, 125, 150. I use them all the time with no ratchet. And if you're like, no ratchet, what's the point of an extension? Well, if I have a shallow socket or a deep socket and tight confines, I come in and maybe I can touch it, but maybe I can't. So something like this would be excessively long if you're in tight confines. I can't get the angle I need even with the wobble. But coming in with these extensions in the shorter versions, I'm able to sometimes grab, like the 75, get the wobble engaged, and then I can go to town. And the reason it's easier to go to town is that knurling right there. So it all adds up to just a fantastic piece, and it is why we spent $99 before the sale on this item. I'll have all of this linked. Again, I make nothing off of this, but the thing that's kind of cool, like people see the foam sets and they're like, oh, red, I wish it was, green or blue or whatever. Well, check that out. You're like, hey, that's not red like the website shows. That's right. This is nothing. I'm not, well, I think I'm special. I'm a pretty cool guy, but truth be told, you're special too, and you can also select blue. You can select green. I think there's yellow and gray. So this is just something Koken offers through OSAP. That's who does their foam. And if you were unaware, if you're like, man, I'd probably pull the trigger on that. I just hate red. Well, you've got other color options. If you're like, oh, that's too bold, I don't want it to stand out, I just want gray or something, it's fine. Maybe you're in a particular industry, aviation or something, they're like, it's got to be yellow, it's got to be high vis, we got to see when something's missing so you can find it, so we can, shut down for the day. Many different options for you, just straight from the Koken website. You've got to click the product and then you can select from the drop down what foam color you want. They're all the same price. You're not hurting yourself any on that front. I also cannot recall if we have ever had a sticker sheet like this. It's packed in with this one, And I'm really excited my fingers here because I was worried. Two things. Number one, I thought this could have been slightly more compact, but number two, I was like, man, I wish I had something a little stubbier. I feel one right there. I thought it was 7 pieces, but you know, it'd been like 2. There is, I will tell you, a 2 to 3 week lead time when you do any of this foamed stuff. So what I'm going to do with the Cuttix here, you don't want to cut your new foam, obviously. But some people love foam, some people are indifferent, some people live for it. Others, you know, just, yeah, it's not their thing. If you buy anything from Capri or something like this from Koken, it's just going to be a deal where you have to appreciate it, you know. Not necessarily maximum space savings in this design, you can compact it a little bit better, but it's going to clear most places. Now, for those of you that care about the stickers, this is it. It's sort of like a silver backdrop, silver trim essentially around the logo, so that's cool. And there it is. Yes, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. I can't stress enough why the knurling is so nice. It just gives you extra grip, especially if you're like me and you've had your thumb crushed by a bandsaw. The knurling is appreciated. So this, yes, I know I would love to have a ratchet attached too. Sometimes you just can't do it. And with the wobble here and the ability, the dexterity that knurling adds, this can, whether you're just starting it, if you've broke it free and you're going to back it out by hand, coupled with the nut grip, that's going to hold the socket on, right? Like if we're dealing with headers, which is what I've got on my mind right now, if that primary is kind of rubbing the sidewall of the socket, that's another cool thing. That spring steel is recessed. It's not like sticking out, you know, on the increasing the diameter. So we've got a OD profile that's great, but the catch is, so many times, like when you're doing it by hand, if I'm not constantly applying forward pressure to the fastener, you know, to the sidewall of the cylinder head, this is just going to drop off because the primary's here and it's just how it works, gravity, all right? So what this allows you to do when you utilize the nut grip, especially since it's not recessed super deep, you know, the holding function, it's right where you see that spring. This will keep the socket, so when I have to put my hand down because it hurts or I have to reposition, you know, and go like a 1/16th of a turn type of a thing, this is the ticket. This is going to be super, super cool. I guess I should have made better notes on this to save us some time. I want to say this is a 28, which is tiny. It's obviously like your stubby friend from the set. I want to also highlight the machining. The camera's not really going to show it, but sort of that philo effect. You know, on a number 2 philo bit, you can pick up that machining, you can actually hear it. So this guy is awesome. I hope I don't ever lose him. Coming in next, again, we will have a 50. It's probably more efficient again if I would have made notes, but we're going to deal with it. 50, 75, I want to say they then jump to a 125. No, they do have 100 in this. Maybe it's the 3/8 where they skipped that. So 50, 75, and 100, stair-stepping 25. Well, it'd be nice if you could see that. Thanks for telling me. But 50, 75, and 100 stair-step the 25 millimeters. This being 28, so it's roughly following that pattern. You're going to be about 22 down instead. Our long extensions, nearly said sockets, but caught myself. This is a 150. And then right here, we're going to have what I believe we have stationed here, which is a 200. Don't worry, I'll keep them separate. So our 200, and then the big honker from the set is the 300 millimeter extension. So if you've got just top down would be awesome, you know, something like a super deep sidewall, maybe a panel or something. You've got the wobble, you've got the fix. I mean, the only way you could make that better is if you added a locking mechanism too. But this was the big ticket. This was the, you know, I said, man, you know, they're doing it. They're putting these things in foam sets. If only I would have known. But that's how stuff goes. And this was a really good buy on the Memorial Day sale. I think it was 15% off. And I thought, you know what? As much as I use the Wobble Fix and the 3/8 and then invested in the nut grip, I think it's time to just pull the trigger on that. So, okay, that sounds like a wasp. A very pissed off wasp is somewhere in here. We're just gonna roll with it. I think I have brake cleaner. I've got some ballast I could spritz it with. So hopefully, and if I go down and somebody recovers this footage, it was a wasp or a bee or a hornet or something like that. So 99 bucks. Again, if you can wait for a sale, Memorial Day they did 15, Father's Day they've got 20%, which is insane. I made sure to pin a comment on that video, so some of you hopefully will catch that. The website does tell you it's a little hard to see if you're not on the mailing list. I recommend you do that. It's free and you get heads up notice on this stuff without having to rely on people like me. But that is our Wobble-Fix collection, complete with a sticker pack. I will tell you, in this order, outside of this sticker, I got nothing. Didn't get the cool magnifying card, didn't get extra stickers, didn't get candy canes. Candy canes I'm willing to give a pass on. It's one of those things, you know, like you're always sort of curious what's going down, and now we have logic on it. So, what I'm going to do now after I repopulate my little nut grip guy, by the way, these will be getting upgraded storage here pretty soon. I'm just going to come in and throw some stuff down for you. I think it's what we're going to do. So we got this, and then we've got this. This is stuff from the most recent project going on in the shop. And then we've got this, alright? I've got the rest of the Koken stuff draped over, all over the fan cover and cowl on the truck. This is a Tecton full swivel head. What is it coupled to? A 9/16 Koken 6-point deep, okay? So a lot of you have no use for this because it's fractional, imperial, SAE, old school, American, whatever you want to call it. It's my bread and butter. It has been and it still is. So it's there. And then this thing, as much as I complain about this Capri, especially mainly the handle breaker bar, I find myself using it all the time, and it's mainly for weird stuff like this when I can get funky angles that I'm able to break stuff free and then kind of go to town on. So this is the 1/2-inch drive. You can't really, the 9/16 was a little dirty. I think it was a starter bolt I last turned with it. No, it was the stud on the starter. The actual starter bolt is 5/8 off to the side over here. But, oh, that's a bad sounding. It's back flying. The way is out, the way you came in, genius. Just go. But right here, this thing, you can't, well, you can sort of tell. The handle, it does get dirty. I haven't tried to clean it yet. You can tell this guy's seen quite a bit of use just looking at the anvil. You know, it's where you start to see the paint coming off. This thing has been fantastic. What I love about it, you think, oh, you need a locking flex head. Well, you buy a Matco, you'll never want one again. But this one, you don't have it lock. It's just sort of freeform, but tight. Currently, I guess probably because it's still new. This has been so good. You couple this with a 3/8 Wobble-Fix and your little deep sockets here, I'm able to do a lot of damage. There's only 6 bolts per header. But all but 2 of them are incredibly difficult to access, and that guy has proven invaluable. Granted, the Stavilla flex heads over there too. I mean, we have like 4 to 5 ratchets, a couple breaker bars out, you know. That's one of the cool things about acquiring a lot of tools, is getting to use them, see where they excel. But the bottom line, and what all this ties in with, is this. And this is the rest of the set, right? So 1/2, 9/16, very commonly used. This is just the Koken 3/8 drive, 1/4 to 3/4 9-piece socket set, deep iteration, okay? Now, what I picked up next in this order is right here. And it ties in beautifully with what you see there. This is going to be RS3400A/9. Anytime you see RS with a Koken part number, that's going to stand for railed set, okay? Price point on these, really not that bad. And I'm going to kind of walk you through that. $53.76. So you're sitting here and you're like, you said 9 sockets, 53, let's just round that up to 54. That comes out to like $6 a socket. Now, if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, oh, 1/4, you know, this should be cheaper than that. Well, this is a 3/4, and you're like, yeah, it should probably be more than $6 a socket there, 3/8 drive. And I would agree, but what this is going to allow me to do, as you should know when you do anything tight confines, you've got the deeps, and sometimes they're too deep. So the shallow, sometimes they're too shallow, but in this case, I was actually so impressed with the 6-point deep, I went ahead and I decided, you know what, I want to kind of round that out and just pick up the shallows. So 6-point shallow here, again, 1/4 all the way up to 3/4. They're sort of a cross between German and American. German sockets, you typically, I've got a Gador sitting right here, so we'll just grab it. You typically have a satin finish, right? Especially here. Gador is kind of more like Koken. This is like a satin polished finish there. But with, you know, like think of the extension, satin, right? Low glare, low gloss, better visibility, better grip, better dexterity in my opinion. And then American stuff is like SK. Or Snap-on. It's just super in your face, mirror polished reflective chrome, right? This is kind of a hybrid of that. Some of you will like that, some of you will hate it, some of you could use it as a gateway to German sockets. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But this should come in super handy. There's not a whole lot. I mean, they're just 6-point sockets. They're great socket. The value, I mean, you're getting made in Japan for $6 a socket in this case. I don't really think you can go wrong. If you're curious, just off the top of my head, 53-ish here, you can just call it 50 to keep it simple. You're paying about $100 for the deep set, the equivalent. And you're thinking, ooh, semi-deeps must be 75. Sadly, they are not. They're priced at 100. I don't know if they just don't produce as many, so it's a lower volume deal, and the price is then therefore higher. I wish that they fell in like the 60 to 80 range, but that doesn't happen. It's basically the same price as deep sockets, so still don't have those. Maybe they'll be ordered soon. Maybe they were ordered last night. I don't know, but it is what it is. Also, shout out to Tony Tool Time. You can find him on Instagram and YouTube. I asked in that previous video, I was like, does anybody keep this stuff? You know, it's like kind of too cool to throw away sometimes. I've got a lot of like cardboard boxes from Hazette and Knipex and Stavilla on occasion. And this is kind of the same thing. Like, you could do something with this. You could store parts in it. It's just sort of cool. And he sent me a picture of just random cardboard boxes where he's like cut out and pinned it, sort of as like shop decoration. So at least I'm not alone in thinking that, and, you know, kind of carrying through with it. Now, to sort of wrap this up, we're going to go ahead and just do the big bag here. If you're thinking, ooh, big bag. Well, it was a big bag. It had the socket set in it and maybe some other things that you'll see in the next video. But it's also got a lot of little bags in the bottom. So I'm going to dump these out, and I'm just going to quickly run you through them, and then the payoff will be at the end where I sort of show you what they are. So 2400M-9. I honestly have no clue how I wound up with this. It's a 6-point 9mm socket, quarter drive by the looks of it. I legitimately don't know. I think it was something I was doing, and I must have totally like screwed the pooch here. So there's a second page to my Koken deal. Ah, okay. That was the, well, I don't want to talk about it because it'll be another surprise. I legit don't know. I don't know if this was something I thought was going to complete a set, something I had skipped a 9, we'd lost 9. I really don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe I intended that to be a 6mm. Because sometimes, you know, like I've got painted fasteners like on grill trim and stuff that's 6. That's all I can really figure. And the ticket here says 9. The email says 9. I don't know, maybe I thought I ordered a 6. So currently I have a 9mm socket. Maybe we have to build a set around it now. I don't know. $4.36 for that guy. If I come in right here, this is kind of a 2 tandem deal. This is quarter drive, and you're like, good Lord, what are you going to do with that? I'm not really sure. It's 2300A-1/8 and -5/32. These are quarter drive deep 6-point sockets. They are going to be $9.58 for the 1/8 and $9.48 for the 5/32. Let's see here. Jumping around, we have got kind of an odd coupling here. Again, 2 sockets in a bag. We've got from the 3400A, we've got a -1 and a -1/4. If you're piecing these part numbers together, the -1/4 is going to be $5.08. That's a 3/8 drive, 6-point quarter. And then if you're sitting there and you're like, look at that honker, what's going on? Is that -1 for 1 inch? It absolutely is. That was our most expensive standalone socket. It's going to set you back $13.04. So we'll set that aside, set this aside. We might save that one for the next haul. This guy right here is 2400A-9/16. This is going to be a quarter drive, 6-point 9/16 socket. Let's see if I can find it. $5.76. We will toss this in the pile. And then right here, I think this is the last one, 3300A-1/4. That's going to set you back 1052. It is a 3/8 drive, 1/4 inch deep, 6-point socket. I think that's it. I think that's what I want to showcase here. Everything else is going to wait until the next video, which I might record now. If you know what I was doing with this 9mm, please tell me. And, if you think since we have it, we need to build a set around it, let me know that as well. But what I'm going to do is grab some stuff to showcase why this random hodgepodge assortment of bagged sockets is standing here. And I think you're going to like seeing that. So that'll be how we wrap the video up. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. You say, now you realize what I was doing here. So let's kind of recap this setup if you're unfamiliar with it or have forgotten. Blue mechanics time savers, friction peg socket holders. These were sourced on a massive end of year blowout sale from Napa, and the primary ingredient is going to be SK socket sets and then SK and right. So kind of down here, your deeps on the 1/4 drive, they're going to be SK, and then the shallow is actually going to be right, with the exception of this guy right here. This is also shallow right, but it is a 9/16 12-point. What I'm gonna do is go ahead, that's all that was available at the time, and you know, I'm sort of indifferent on it, and I actually prefer 12s, but we got a Koken and we're gonna put it in place right here. Now, coming in next, we'll try to stick with this theme here. We need a 1/8 and a 5/32 for our 1/4 drive deep sockets. And if I had, I actually kind of need to trim my fingernails yet, despite that fact, having trouble opening this bag. This little tandem bag of tiny, tiny things that you will probably rarely use, but if you need them, you're going to have them and they'll come in handy, and that little shallow is probably not going to get it done. We have the 1/8 and we have the 5/32. So there we go. We've got the SKs, and now we've got Koken, we've got right and Koken. It's kind of easy to discern like the super high luster chrome versus the Koken, especially on the shallow you're looking down the barrel of, and it's bigger, so it's easier to pick up on that. Right here, our 330A-1/4. Well, if you recall the part number, that's going to be deep. It's going to be 3/8 drive, and the -1/4 is going to tell you that it's a 1/4 drive socket. You know, everything we brought in was 6-point. So this guy right here, where does he go? Joining the SKs, of course. And then coming in, I think this is our final bag from this selection. Let's go ahead and get the little guy out. So first one up is going to be our 3/8 drive 1/4 6-point socket. We're going to throw him right there. And then last but not least, we almost have that thing totally populated for peace of mind and the OCDs out there. This little guy, and I shouldn't say little guy, this is a 1-inch shallow. It's probably not something you're going to use frequently. You know, 15/16 and 5/8 hardware, yeah, absolutely. 1-inch, not so much, but for the sake of getting it done, it's there. Everything in the back is SK, and if you're like, what's this jump about? This is a right. Koken has the 1-inch shallow. They do not have a 1-inch deep, oddly enough. And if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, hey, you skipped a 1/8 shallow, buddy, I bet Koken had that if they had the deep one. They do, as best I remember, but I already have that covered. That'll be in a Koken Tool Haul, you know, that I've not filmed yet because the rest of the stuff's on back order. Coming in over here, 5/8. No one seems to do that. I think some of you have told me Blue Point and Snap-on might. So basically, I need y'all to spread the good word on the channel, get me to 10K, because that's when I've said we're going to do the Snap-on Tool Haul. And, I would like to get 1/4 drive 5/8, so that is something that could actually come in handy, especially the shallow, just kind of depending on, you have tight confines, you know. But the 1-inch and 1-inch deep, I don't know, would probably step up to 1/2-inch drive unless we just can't fit it type of a thing. But yeah, I think that is probably where we're gonna stop. Probably. So there's something that ties in really well with this, but I sort of didn't do it, and I'm thinking we'll just save it as a surprise. It'll be the start to the next video. How about that? But yeah, the main highlight here is not necessarily completing some of these almost. We're 3 away on the quarter, we're 1 away on the 3/8. So maybe Mac has one. I don't know. That would be 7,500 subscribers. Maybe I can get a deep 3/8 drive 1-inch 6-point. But the main highlight here for most of you is no doubt going to be that Wobble-Fix extension in the foam, blue foam at that, mind you. Like I said, if you like this Koken stuff, you're in for a treat, because we've got another one coming up with the rest of this haul. I placed an order last night. It's a much bigger haul, and I think you're going to enjoy it as well. But yeah, that is about it. So we expanded. I've liked these so well. The deep, 3/8 drive, we've gone over here and we've gotten their counterpart shallows to give us better access. We like the Wobble-Fix so well, we went ahead and sprung for the foam set, 7-piece, including this beautiful little guy right here that's going to be a huge asset. Keep in mind, you can also Wobble-Fix a Wobble-Fix. So if this was too short and this is too long, you could theoretically pair these together and go to town. Sky is the limit once you got what you got. And we're sort of filling this in as well. So like I said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you caught Koken Tool Haul 3 in my pinned comment where there's a 20% off sale, because that is a fantastic time. I don't recall seeing anything higher than 20% off from Koken. I could be mistaken. I don't remember if Black Friday was a little higher, maybe the same. But if you see 20%, it's a good time to buy. You're probably not going to get much better of a deal. So let me know your thoughts on all this. What do you think of this sweet foamed extension set? Do you like the blue? What color would you do? What colors do they not offer that you wish they offered? Similarly, again, if you know 3/8 1-inch deep, if you know the missing quarter drive stuff, the 5/8, let me know. But with that said, I'm going to quit rambling so I can crank out another video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend on top of that. The website, LoneStarMopars.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all 3 at Lone Star Mopars. If you liked what you see here, I encourage you to subscribe. You can also, as always, leave your thoughts and opinions on anything down below. Whether you love the Wobble-Fix, hate the Wobble-Fix, can't stand a mixed matched socket set, whether you don't care as long as all the pegs are full and you don't think anything's missing. Anything you want to talk about, feel free. With that said, I'm going to get back to work, and I hope I catch you next weekend for more action from the shop.